He was the master of intimidation in NASCAR racing. He was able to drive a car beyond its limits. He was aggressive. His moves on the track were often controversial, and his competitors trembled with fear in his presence. He was Dale Earnhardt, aka the Intimidator, and this is why he is the most feared driver of all time. Before we delve into his fearless approach and the secret behind his consecutive wins and unparalleled dominance, do not forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Dale Earnhardt, a regular guy with an extraordinary passion for cars, took his first breath on April 29, 1951, in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Growing up, he was surrounded by the roar of engines and the smell of gasoline, thanks to his dad, Ralph Earnhardt, who was a respected figure in the world of racing. Ralph wasn't just a race car driver, he was a wizard with tools, capable of fixing up cars like they were his own children. And little Dale, wide-eyed and curious, soaked up his father's skills like a sponge. Even as a youngster, Dale's fascination with cars was unmistakable. While most kids his age were playing with toys, he was busy poring over engines and asking endless questions about how things worked. School wasn't his favorite place, and he eventually decided to drop out in the 9th grade. But his lack of a diploma didn't dim his determination. Instead, it fueled his desire to chase his dreams in the fast lane. In 1973, tragedy struck the Earnhardt family. Ralph, the man who had ignited Dale's passion, passed away from a heart attack. The loss was profound, but it didn't extinguish the fire that burned within Dale. In fact, it seemed to fan the flames even brighter. 2 years later, in 1975, Dale found himself behind the wheel of a stock car, ready to prove that the racing genes ran strong in the Earnhardt blood. It was the World 600 race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and though he didn't claim victory, his journey had undeniably begun. Life's turning points often arrive when we least expect them. For Dale, that moment came when a certain Rod Osterlund from California noticed his raw talent and potential. Rod, a sponsor with a keen eye for rising stars, saw something in Dale that many others had missed. In 1979, Dale was handed his very first full-time contract to race in the Winston Cup, a monumental leap for the aspiring driver. At the Southeastern 500 in Bristol, Tennessee, he tasted victory for the first time in his NASCAR career. The thrill of crossing the finish line ahead of the pack was an intoxicating experience, and it marked the beginning of Dale's ascent to prominence. As the season progressed, Dale's bank account swelled in an unprecedented way. He became the first rookie driver ever to earn over $200,000 in a single year, a feat that not only caught the attention of fans and fellow racers, but also earned him NASCAR's esteemed Rookie of the Year award. It was like a badge of honor, a validation of his dedication and skill. The climax of his meteoric rise arrived in 1980. The Winston Cup Championship, the ultimate prize in NASCAR, was within Dale's grasp. In a gripping showdown that had fans on the edge of their seats, he clinched the title by a razor-thin margin, narrowly edging out the seasoned competitor Cale Yarborough. This victory didn't just make him a champion, it solidified his status as an icon. Dale Earnhardt became the first driver to capture both Rookie of the Year and the championship in consecutive years, a historic feat that left an indelible mark on the sport. After Osterlund handed off his team to J.D. Stacy in 1981, Dale Earnhardt found a new home racing for Richard Childress, who used to be a driver himself. He gave it his all for the next couple of years with Bud Moore's team, but fate had its way, and he rejoined forces with Childress after the 1983 season. And that's when things really started to take off. Picture this, 1985 rolls in, and Earnhardt clinches 4 wins. But that was just a warm-up for the show he put on in 1986. With 5 wins and a fiery determination, he snagged his second Winston Cup championship. And guess what? The following year was even more spectacular. Dale Earnhardt, full throttle and unstoppable, racked up a whopping 11 wins and secured his 3rd championship title. If you thought that was impressive, hold tight, because the numbers don't stop there. In 1987, a new chapter unfolds. Nicknamed Ironhead and the Intimidator, Dale had a reputation for being a bit of a bulldozer on the track. He'd give a nudge here, a bump there, and somehow always find his way to the front. But a talking to from the big shots at NASCAR got him to reconsider his tactics. He started playing nice with his fellow racers and building bridges instead of bumping them. Now buckle up, because the 90s were about to become Dale's playground. In 1990, he clinched his fourth Winston Cup championship and drove his way to an impressive $3,083,056 in prize money, a record back then. The very next year, lightning struck twice and he secured another championship title. A hiccup in 1992 didn't slow him down. Nope, he came back roaring in 1993 to grab his sixth championship. You know what they say? Records are meant to be broken. In 1994, Dale Earnhardt snatched his seventh Winston Cup championship, tying with the legendary Richard Petty for the most ever. The man was on fire. His wallet was no lightweight either, with earnings crossing the $3 million mark for the third time in just 5 years. He was the undisputed ruler of the stock car domain. The 90s became a playground for Dale, although another championship slipped through his fingers. In 1996, he became only the third driver to embark on 500 consecutive Winston Cup races. By the next year, his career earnings zoomed past a jaw-dropping $30 million, the biggest paycheck ever for a race car driver. But there was one trophy missing from his collection, the iconic Daytona 500. Earnhardt had danced close to victory multiple times, only to be foiled by bad luck or mechanical glitches. In 1997, he walked away from a brutal crash at Daytona, a testament to his resilience. Fast forward to 1998, and the stars finally aligned. He clinched his first Daytona 500 win after 20 attempts, putting an end to a 59-race winless streak. As the years ticked by, Dale Earnhardt continued to dazzle. In 1998, he secured 8th place in the point standings, followed by 7th and 2nd in the subsequent seasons. With an incredible 20 top 10 finishes out of 22 full seasons on the circuit, he proved that he wasn't just a flash in the pan. He was a bona fide racing legend, leaving an indelible mark on the track and etching his name into the annals of racing history. There's no doubt that Dale Earnhardt was more than a racer. He was a maestro of intimidation, orchestrating his moves on the NASCAR track with unmatched finesse. When he gripped the steering wheel, he unleashed a symphony of speed, pushing his car to limits that seemed almost unnatural. Competitors could feel the ground shake as he surged forward, either gliding past them or employing daring maneuvers to bulldoze his way to the front. Aggression was the signature of his driving style, a force that stirred debates and controversies. Yet amidst the debates, his raw talent shone through, an undeniable testament to his mastery behind the wheel. He wasn't just a one-time champion. He was a 7-time NASCAR Winston Cup, Sprint Cup title holder. 6 of those victories were earned under the banner of Richard Childress Racing, a partnership that cemented his place in racing history. In 1987, Earnhardt streaked into the spotlight, clinching an awe-inspiring 4 consecutive wins, culminating in a total of 5 victories out of 7 races. But perhaps the moment etched most deeply into the annals of racing lore was his infamous pass in the grass. In a heart-pounding duel during the Winston, now known as the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, held at the iconic Charlotte Motor Speedway, Earnhardt spun Bill Elliott out in the final segment. This audacious move earned him the moniker Intimidator, a name that mirrored his fearless approach on the track. His prowess wasn't confined to the asphalt, it extended into the psyche of his fellow racers. When Earnhardt's black number 3 loomed in a driver's mirror, anxiety followed suit. The mere thud of his car's nose against another's was enough to instill a sense of foreboding. Off the track, his swagger was unmistakable, punctuated by a grin that hinted at his impending dominance. He wielded his intimidating aura as a father too, as his son Dale Earnhardt Jr. recalled. The desire to earn his approval, to see that grin of pride, was a constant driving force. Earnhardt was not just a racing legend, he was an enigma, a figurehead that left an indelible void upon his untimely demise during the last lap of the 2001 Daytona 500. The sport mourned the loss of a true icon, a driver who had garnered respect not just for his driving prowess, but also for his leadership in the garage area. In the tapestry of NASCAR history, Earnhardt stands alone as the Intimidator, an embodiment of unwavering skill and unrelenting determination. His legacy lives on, echoing through the engines and the hearts of those who continue to chase the checkered flag. If you enjoyed this story, buckle up and stay tuned for more fascinating tales about your favorite car brands. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for a joyride through the world of automotive history. Thanks for watching and see you soon.